Hi, this is Micornus, Phokane, the leader and the founder of Church Governance Solutions. We are dealing with a topic that speaks about pastors that destroy their own churches with their own hands. Pastors that destroy their own churches. And this is part 2 today that we're dealing with. And the first category of pastors that destroy their own churches are what I call politically ambitious pastors. Politically ambitious pastors. This type of pastors who are politically motivated, politically ambitious, they always use a divide and rule tactics to do things in their churches because they would love a certain way of doing things, and that type of certain way of doing things, that's the only way for them. And therefore, then they will divide the people because they would love people to be affiliated to a certain political party or to buy into what we call a political ideology. And that's because of that. Remember that there are people that came here not for political system. There are people that joined the church not because they want to affiliate with political ideology, but they want to actually serve the Lord purely, not related to politics at all. This type of pastors, they hear one side of stories generally from people and they judge accordingly. So if you are this type of a pastor, what happens generally is when there's an issue in the church, you'll find yourself taking one side of the story or hear one side of the story, and you would actually judge based on that one story. And while it is very prudent as a leader and as a pastor that when there is an issue amongst your people, you should actually hear both sides of the story so that you can make your decision and judgment based on both sides of the story. There are times when we make judgments because we have heard only one side of the story, and then we take it running and we conclude based on that. And that is killing the church. And that is basically coming mainly from what we call politically ambitious pastors. They turn their people against each other generally in order to fester their own private ambitions, because they would love to really garner and recruit the people. They try to make the people follow them. They try to make the people support them. And because they've got a political gain out of it, they want to be having crowds that are following them because they've got a political ambition behind it. So therefore, they are actually putting people against each other. They're pitting them against each other. And you'll find that the members, those that don't support the pastor's political ambitions, and those that support the pastor's political ambitions, they become actually in tender hooks. They are actually in clashing of heads, they butt heads, because they are not actually in agreement, particularly when it comes to the political ambitions of the pastor. They play denominational politics, generally, this type of pastors. And when you do so, you are actually dividing the church. You're making the church to really start to get confused and not know. And when we speak about denominational politics, we're speaking about whereby you find pastors that will actually take sides and start to see denominations as the ultimate. So therefore, they would say, we are better than that church, and that church is better than the other church. So it will be, we cannot fellowship with that particular church because we are not of the same name. We are not of the same denomination. That's what we call denominational politics. And they happen a lot with pastors that are politically ambitious. And this is something that we need to look at, because when you do that, you're basically killing the church with your own hands. Now, when they play denominational politics generally, as I say, they make people to get confused, and people don't know what to do and what to follow, and that becomes problematic because of that. They use churches, they transfers and people to fester their own political ambitions. So what they will do, they would actually make sure that they transfer other people to other congregations, to other branches, and they would make sure that they swap people around in order to have the group of people that support their political ambition. You remember that this particular churches sometimes is those churches that vote for leaderships, are those churches that actually garnering for support, whereby the pastor is voted for. And he's looking for people that will vote for him and keep him in the seat or in the position. So therefore, we'll transfer people around and swap people around to keep those that support them, so that people can be able to vote to them. And that kills the church, because then you've got no balance of judgment, in the sense that even when you are deviating and teaching the wrong doctrine, there's nobody who will see that, because this will be people that are supporting you in a political level, not particularly in a spiritual level. So therefore, even when you're out of a line with the word of God, nobody will be able to rebuke. So this type of pastors, they are not serving with the heart for God, but actually they actually serving with what we call monetary ambition. They're having what we call a monetary positional ambition as well, whereby they want to be in a position, particularly because they are looking for the salary, they are looking for money that will come along with it, because this is political. And they want to be in a position, because otherwise they're losing their livelihoods if they are not in this position. So therefore, they will garner the people around them, rally them to make sure that these people that support them are forever around them, so that they can vote them in each time because of the political ambitions that they have. They spend more time in meetings than with the flock in this regard. And they will have meetings, they will try to convince people in meetings. They hardly actually spend time with the flock, because they see meetings or helping the flock as waste of time, because they want to build their own ambition, and they want to build their own political strength and power, and therefore they see everything else as wasting of time. So in more cases than one, you'll find that they secretly siphon the money of the church or the funds of the church into what we call bogus projects, because they want to impress as well. They put up some bogus projects that will try to impress the people, so that people can vote them, people can follow them, they can win the majority of the people because of that. That's something that happens in churches, particularly the mainline churches, and that should be actually be seen as destroying your own church with your own hands. And pastors like that, they destroy their own churches. In more cases, this one, they make sure that they also bring spiritual darkness to their churches by the unholy, ambitious practices, because they know that when people are very, very spiritual sensitive, they'll pick up all these dodgy behaviors or dodgy projects that you're putting in, and therefore they'll not vote you, they will not support you. And that's the reason why politically ambitious pastors, they destroy churches, because they shine they bring some darkness in the corners of their members, so that their members are not really open up in analytical mind of seeing if things are still run in a spiritual manner, and that they may be robbed therefore, and support the pastor even though the pastor might be wrong. And that is killing the church, definitely. I want to speak about the next group of pastors that destroy their own churches. And this is a group called predators. These pastors that we call predators. Now, Jesus spoke about shepherds who watch the sheep, and hirelings who do not stick around when the sheep is threatened, and wolves who are enemies of the sheep, or some wolves that are putting on what we call a sheepskin. Jesus spoke about all this. Some pastors are sexual predators in their own churches. Some are actually what we call financial predators, because what they came is they come, steal money, and they siphon the money into their own coffers. They siphon the money into their own bank accounts. These are type of predators that we're speaking about. And there are those that we call prophetic manipulators as well. These are predators. These are the people that will actually rob people of their hard-earned monies for the sake of enriching themselves. And we have seen these things happening. But I want to emphasize that this is killing the church, because when people wake up and open their eyes and realize that the pastor is busy robbing them, they are actually starting to lose actually the whole favor from the people, and then the church crumbles, because people walk literally away from this type of manipulators. Prophetic manipulators in our generation, very common, and we see them a bit more often as well. Scandals and rumors, strays, and they follow them wherever they minister, because they've got scandals every time. And everybody is actually talking about them because of the behavior that is untoward. That is happening everywhere, even when they are invited somewhere. Now, scandals follow them everywhere where they minister. People know that. They fleece rather than to feed the sheep. As I said, they milking the sheep of their heart and money. But they hardly actually take care of the sheep. They hardly take care of the congregation. What they're looking for is their own intentional gains or personal gains that they want to have out of the money. Sad but true, and most predators, they prey on local church finances, and they prey on the local church women as well. They would do that. And we have said this in the beginning. These are called predators. And predators kill the churches. And they actually kill the church in general. Because when people look at it, even non-believers, they would say, Christians are like this. And when they say Christians are like this, that destroys the potential of people getting born again. Because they actually have a wrong perception of what Christianity is all about based on what they see predators doing. And I want to emphasize that predators kill the church, not only their local church, but it does affect the church globally at large because of predators. They line their own pockets with God's money, and they spend lavishly and very extravagant in everything that they do, living under whatever excuses. Of course, they will drive very expensive cars. This type of people, they would actually stay in very expensive houses as well, lavishly dressing up very, very expensively with fashion, and they are fond of fashion at all times. And that is predator spirit. And we've seen that happening in the church of today. And many of the congregants have actually given up in going to church, in fellowshipping anymore, because they don't see actually the truth out of predators, and they don't like what is happening, and they give up. And many people then backslide because of that. That is killing the church, and I want to emphasize that. I want to end up here today, your host, Micornus Phokane. Thank you very much for listening to us, and we hope that you'll join us as we deal with part 3 of this great topic. Pastors that destroy their own churches. And I want you to join us as we deal with part 3 tomorrow. But remember also to like our Facebook pages, Church Governance Solutions and Micornus Phokane, and also click notification buttons on those. Remember, we do have a YouTube channel as well. Please make sure that you subscribe to it and you catch up with every material that we've posted there, and also the teachings that we put up, because they will help you as an individual, they will help you as a pastor as well, and Church of God shall be built and be strong because of this particular teaching. So please join us as we deal with this particular topic tomorrow. May the good Lord bless you. Allow me to say cheers for now.